What's up guys, Matt Fragger back again. I got another fragrance review video for you, and this one is gonna be the top 10, or should I say the bottom 10 rated fragrances in my collection according to Fragrantica. Now I just posted the top 10 highest rated fragrances from my collection. Now I'm gonna do the top 10 lowest rated fragrances in my collection, not of all fragrances, but just in my collection, according to Fragrantica. I looked up every fragrance in my collection, found out what the score was, and I'm going to tell you the top 10 lowest rated, lowest scoring fragrances from my collection. Now, those of you who aren't familiar, most of you are, but those of you who aren't, Fragrantica is a site that you can go to find out information about fragrances. You can look at the notes. You can look at what other people think about them, what people think that they are similar to, and at the core of that is a scoring system that Fragrantica uses from 0 to 5, and based on the votes that where people vote for the fragrance, and then based on those votes, they give it a score. And now, as I said in the last video, the 10 highest ranked video, some fragrances get less votes than others, so you have to kind of take that into consideration. And although Fragrantica isn't the end all be all of, you look up a fragrance on Fragrantica, it's not like, it's like anything that's set in stone, or like, it's going to be like the letter of law when it comes to that fragrance. But it is a good tool to use to get an idea of what a fragrance is about, what it's like, what other people think about it. And in this video, I'm going to go through the top 10 or the bottom 10 fragrances in my collection as they rated on Fragrantica. So number 10 is on this list is going to be the best rated of these 10, and number 1 is going to be the one with the lowest rating. So starting off at number 10, we've got Nautica Voyage. And I mean, no surprise that this would end up on this list. I think a lot of people have this in their collection. I think some people, like, may be ashamed to admit that they have this in their collection and that they wear it. But it is, as far as cheap fragrances go, this is just my opinion. As far as cheap fragrances go, this one could be called the king. It's $20 or less. It is mass appealing, kind of a like scent profile. It doesn't last too long. I mean, it's not terrible. I have fragrances that cost more than this that have less performance. The performance is decent, but it is a cheap fragrance, and it smells like what it is. It's a dumb reach kind of fragrance, and I wear this when I'm like mowing grass or working outside, or if I'm, just basically like just a quick grab. A lot of people, I think, wear this to the gym as their gym fragrance. But yeah, I mean, it's a budget fragrance that does a lot for what you get. Like, I think that this is a good fragrance for the money. Nautica Voyage, in at 3.94 on Fragrantica with 13,464 votes. 3.94. Right behind that one is going to be Cool Waters by Davidoff. And this one, out of 16,122 votes, this one had a 3.88. This is a classic fragrance. It definitely smells a little dated to some people. But to me, even though it's old school, even though it's a little dated, I still wear this. The neroli in this, I feel, is done really well, and I love the way that you get that kind of soapy, like it smells like kind of like a fancy, expensive soap. The way the neroli comes across in here, it's fresh. I just feel like this is a great fragrance that stands the test of time. I still wear this on occasion and enjoy it when I do. And it got a 3.88, but yeah, I feel like, and as far as popular opinion goes, it probably belongs in this list. But in my opinion, I don't. I think it's a great fragrance, and I think it holds up today. Davidoff Cool Water. Coming in at number 8, you knew this was going to pop up in this list, and that's going to be Dior Sauvage EDT, the original Dior Sauvage. And this is a fragrance that, for a while there, you couldn't go anywhere or do anything without seeing this fragrance plastered in front of you somewhere. Like the marketing for this thing, they put it in front of everybody's eyes. And, that's part of the reason, but not all of the reason why it's it consistently is the number one best-selling fragrance in this country. And that is because it's a great fragrance. Now, I feel like the reason that it's in this list, and the reason that out of a whopping 25,321 votes on Fragrantica, it got a 3.87. I think the reason is because it's so played. Everybody and their brother and their brother's uncle wore this one or wears this one. It's a scent profile that you smell very frequently on people. If you want to like follow the herd and, go along with the popular crowd and go along with what most people are wearing, get yourself a bottle of Dior Sauvage EDT. It's mass appealing. It's it's got very good performance. It just checks all the boxes, and there's a reason why it's the number one selling fragrance. But just because it's the number one selling fragrance doesn't mean that it's the highest rated fragrance by the people that are voting, and that's apparent here because it only got a 3.87, and I feel like the reason why is because it's just played out. So, moving on. The next fragrance, and I was a little disappointed to find this one in this bottom 10 list, and that's going to be Banana Republic Grasslands. I really dig this fragrance. As far as Banana Republic fragrances go, this one has very good performance, and it smells like Irish Spring soap, in my opinion, or at least similar to Irish Spring soap. It's got that vibe. They say it's compared to or inspired by Creed's Green Irish Tweed, but I just think that this is a clean, fresh, green fragrance. It's great to wear. It's a great out of the shower fragrance. It's uplifting. It's really like invigorating, and it makes you feel good when you wear it, and I love it. But out of 225 votes, it got a 3.81 on Fragrantica. Moving on. Now, this is one that I'm not surprised at all to see in this bottom 10 list, and that's going to be Versace Blue Jeans. Man, there's a lot of hate toward this fragrance here. This fragrance catches a lot of smoke, and I get it. I mean, it's a cheap Versace fragrance that smells a little cheap, and it's kind of like I think it's one of those love it or hate it kind of deals, really, because I think some people really like this fragrance and kind of swear by it and stand up for it, but then a lot of people really just hate on this thing, and I've seen a lot of negative energy directed toward this fragrance. This one, out of 8,387 votes, so a lot of votes, this one got a 3.81, and that brings it in near the middle of the bottom of the pack as far as fragrances go on Fragrantica. I wear it very, very rarely, and but I do think that it holds up as a good budget fragrance. It has fairly decent performance, and it doesn't smell bad. The way people talk about it is like it smells like shit. I don't think it smells bad. I just don't think it's the best fragrance I've ever smelled, but I don't think it's the worst. So Versace Blue Jeans coming in at number 6, and then at number 5, we've got No Limits by Philip Plein. Now, Now I'm holding it upside down. There you go. It's got like a credit card style kind of presentation here. The marketing on this is over the top and preposterous, and you know, like whatever words you can think of to describe, like you know, like just an over the top kind of campaign that they put forward for this one. Corny, cringy. I think the marketing may have something to do with it. The bottle, a lot of people feel like the bottle is pretty tacky. And another thing is, this is a fragrance that's can be very subjective. This is definitely a love it or hate it kind of deal. It's a leather forward fragrance. There's some kind of creamy chocolate nuance to it going on. But if you like leather fragrances, I think this is one you should check out. And I think that you would like, if you're somebody who likes to explore leather fragrances and fragrances that are a little bit kind of out of the box. But it is very classy and very opulent. Smells very, you know, like, smells like it costs more than it does. I would call it a budget fragrance. It's around that $30, $40 range last I looked. But out of 1,664 votes, it got a 3.8 on Fragrantica. And even though I think that it's a great fragrance and I really do like it, apparently not everybody agrees with me. No Limits by Philip Plein. Look up the video, the promo video on this one, like the marketing videos for it. They're so outrageous and crazy. Just check those out, and if you want to have a good laugh, along with a good cringe. So next on the list, we've got John Varvatos, Nick Jonas collaboration. This is the original one in a set of 3, a line of 3 that they did. I call this blue, the blue one, because the bottle's blue, the smell's blue. And basically what you have here is the most generic, like cookie cutter generic blue fragrance you ever smelled. Boring, in my opinion. Like when you think in your mind of just a standard, cheap kind of cologne, even I'll even go so far as to use that word, like, you know, when I was growing up, most people it was cologne or perfume. This one, I would just call a blue cologne. Like, that's what it smells like. It's very uninspired, and the other 2 in the set are pretty decent. And the only reason that I keep this one in the collection is because I have a set of 3, and I want to keep the set together. And, you know, that's really the only reason that I keep it. I don't wear this. Again, I wouldn't say it's a bad fragrance. It doesn't smell bad. It just smells boring, is the best word I can use to describe it. Boring blue. And I think that's why it came in on this list. So next up, we've got Anna Abiad Leather. Now, this one, Anna Abiad Leather and Anna Abiad Rouge. And then there's one more that I think is inspired by Herba Pura. The Anna Abiad Rouge is inspired by Baccarat Rouge 540, and this one is inspired by Memo Paris Italian leather, or is it Irish leather? You know what? I'm sorry. It's one of those 2. I'm not really sure. I think it's the Italian leather, but it could be Irish leather. Regardless of that fact, this one here is, I hold Lattafa in high regard. I have 15 Lattafa fragrances. It's a great house. They do great things. This one and the Anna Abiad Rouge, I can't speak for the other one, but these 2, Lattafa kind of fell short on these, I feel. These aren't what you would typically expect as far as quality goes, as far as performance goes, as far as just that kind of Lattafa name. You know, usually when you get something by Lattafa, you can almost expect that it's going to be pretty decent. These I was not impressed by. They felt way short of expectation, especially this one. This is and I'm a leather fragrance lover, so I like to try all different types of leather fragrances. This one is a citrusy leather, and it's just, again, I'm going to say it again, it's not the worst fragrance that I have or the worst fragrance I've smelled, but it's also far from the best. For what you pay for this, though, it's between 15 and 20 bucks. I think I paid like $17 for it. not bad for the price point, and I could see where maybe some people could enjoy this, but I do not. And this one, out of 310 votes, this one got a 3.74 on Fragrantica, and I can see why, because it leaves a little bit to be desired from Lattafa in this case. So Ana Abiad Leather, that one goes right here. Now, this is one where I'm very disappointed, and much like the top 10 highest ranked fragrances, the highest ranked fragrance that I had only had 3 votes. So I kind of said, well, it was the second one that was really the winner as far as the highest ranked, because with only 3 votes, I mean, I don't think that lends a lot of credibility to the rating. This one, though, had 777 votes, and it pulled only a miserable 3.67, and that is Davidoff The Game. I hate to even reveal this information to you guys, because I've spoken highly of this on my channel. I like this fragrance. I feel like this one, for what you pay for this to pick this up, I feel like this one performs and smells above the price point that it's at. I wouldn't go so far as to say like hidden gem or anything, but this one is a really good fragrance in my opinion for the cost, for the budget price. And I'm disappointed to see it here, and especially when 777 people, voted it and ended up with 3.67, which is a pretty low Fragrantica score. And I feel kind of bad for, this is 2 Davidoffs in this list, by the way, in this bottom 10 list. You got 2 Davidoffs in here. But it is what it is. That was the score that they got. And a lot of people don't have high opinions of this, but I will tell you right now, I do. I wear this fragrance rather frequently. I enjoy it. And I think for the price, it's a great pickup. And I stand by my reviews of this. I like this one a lot. And I love the presentation. The poker looks like a stack of poker chips. I feel like this one kind of got the shaft here, but that's my opinion. And we're going by the scores on Fragrantica. Now, last on the list, and again, like I said, this one only got 23 votes. So, do with that what you will. But, but it scored a abysmal 3.43 on the rating, on the Fragrantica rating, 3.43. And this one is Hello by Lionel Richie. I will admit, I bought this fragrance because first of all, it was only $10. Second, I'm a huge fan of Lionel Richie, and I just bought it for that reason. And I knew going in, like, this isn't gonna be like a great find or anything. Like, it's not gonna be like I'm gonna be blown away by this thing, and you know what I mean. But I said for $10, and I do really, I'm a big fan of Lionel Richie. Give it a try. This one, out of 23 votes, got a 3.43. I feel like if there were 2,300 votes, it would still get a 3.43. I mean, what can I say? It is a very weak attempt at a fragrance inspired by Bleu de Chanel. It's got that kind of Bleu de Chanel kind of vibe, as much as you could call it that. It doesn't last at all. It doesn't project hardly at all. Wears close to the skin within a half an hour. It's a skin scent. Not a great fragrance at all, and I can see why it got such a low rating. But I also feel like a lot of people bought this fragrance for the same reason that I did, which is they were fans of Lionel Richie and they wanted to see what the fragrance was like. And, sometimes that's the way it goes. It can be hit or miss. And this one was a miss, but I only paid $10 for it, so no big loss. The presentation isn't too bad looking for being a $10 fragrance. And the other thing is, I feel like this could have been a good fragrance if they would have kind of took some time with it and really, I feel like this was just half-assed, kind of just pump out anything boring, any boring blue thing that smells close to something expensive so that they could get, again, try to get people to buy it based on the fact that it's by Lionel Richie. And hello, it is not you that I'm looking for. I'm sorry. This one deserves to be the lowest rated fragrance in my collection on Fragrantica. So that's the list. Thanks for joining me for this list, guys. And check out my top 10 highest rated fragrances according to Fragrantica from my collection. That I also put out a video of the 10 highest rated. So check that out if you would. I'm the Mad Fragger. Thanks for joining me for another video. I'll see you next time.